I felt that you have just this self-belief that I will make things work out. Where does that come from?
I guess probably a personal relationship with God. Obviously, listen, when I tell you that after my father passed away and we watched, my mom did the very best she could to provide for us. And we never went without what we needed, right? What we needed. We didn't have a lot of things that we wanted. We didn't have a lot of things that our peers had. But and probably at the time I was selfish and probably thought that's not fair, right? But what we did have was someone setting me an example and saying, if I can do this, if I can raise 3 kids on a job that pays me $3.25 an hour, anyone can do anything, really, right? At the end of the day, I think that's where I saw it first. If I had to say anything, I watched how she somehow stretched to make ends meet and did house cleaning jobs on the side when she wasn't making that much money, and whatever. And we had chores. We were expected to do the laundry and do the dishes and clean the house and do the things to help around there because she was out doing all the other things to try to make the money. And I remember having I babysat kids from this time I was like 12 years old to about 14, and had my first real job when I was 14 years old, working at an old Kmart store. And I remember what it felt like to get that paycheck every week. And back then, that particular chain of stores, they operated every store out of a local, locally, to where every store paid you your paycheck from the back office. And I remember ours being in an envelope, and it was cash. And it was cash for our paycheck, and right down to the amount of pennies and coins that, was owed. And I remember get that feeling of getting that envelope every week with that cash and those coins in there, and what that felt like. And the pride that I felt to be able to go, I have my own money. And so, I guess from early on, I just was always proud to earn my own money. And, having watched how hard my mom worked and having watched my grandfather be an entrepreneur. And I was always so proud of her because she could have at any time asked for a handout from my grandparents. And she never really did. And so I just always knew that his influence on me was fascinating, and that her work ethic was fascinating. And so those two things just kind of created who I was. And I knew that I didn't want to, and I don't want to say this to make it sound to where it's negative, because it was all a great influence on me, but I didn't want to live how I grew up, right? I didn't want to live in that scarcity mentality, where everything was, oh my God, I don't know when I'm going to get the next thing. And so I just always said, it will work itself out. I will have what I have what I need, and I will get what I want. And if I ever didn't know how that was going to happen, I really just turned it over to God and said, I know you're going to provide. It might not be in the form of a handout. It might just be you showing me the path to another opportunity.
And you just reminded me of a quote by someone, maybe it was Bill Gates, who said this, that it's not your fault if you are born poor, but if you die poor, that's your fault. And I read your Facebook profile bio, where you just quoted a verse from Bible, maybe that strengthen me according to your word, maybe, if I am correct here. And
can do all things through
Yes,
Christ
yes.
who strengthens
And
me.
you know what? I love listening to women like you. And the question I want to ask you is, you are a mother. You are way older and elder than me. You have seen all this world way, and you meet people, and you are a mother, a business owner, a wife, and you have achieved so many things in your career as well. Nowadays we see people that, especially girls or women, that they feel that attention, if they can attention, they can, if they have the attention, they can do anything. And by attention I mean they don't care whether it's coming from the right ways or the wrong ways. They just want attention, because the reason behind this, what I feel, I can be wrong, is that the social media and all these influencers, they are pushing these things into us, and we are just praising them like gods, especially girls. And this is a problem that I as a male feel is arising. Now you could have been a victim like as well. You could have easily chose that path, but you chose the right one. You took the responsibilities, and you asked God that show me the path, and I am ready to dedicate whatever it takes to be what I have to be. Why do you feel that a lot of this internet and this trend following is maybe happening and have brainwashed the girls specifically? Because I feel we can talk about roofing for hours here, but it's just like that you said, that these things are the foundations. If you have the foundations right, you can run your ads and you know who you have to target. And these things, like these conversations, are your foundations. If you have your foundations right, you will build habits that will automatically shape up your business. So if you have the wrong habits, and if you are following the wrong trends, how will you become a woman or a girl or a lady that is nourishing the family or the kids or the husband or the house or the business even?